Good afternoon, everyone. The topic that we're going to discuss today is psychological criticism. So, what is psychological criticism? We all know the psychological it is a study of behavioral and mental process, the thoughts, feelings, and motives that can each of experience private but cannot observe. So, psychology comes from a Greek word psyche, which means mind. So, it is a term that often used to refer to the things that are mainly behavioral or emotional, but it may also refer to the field of psychology. Criticism. So, criticism is an evaluative or corrective exercise that can occur in any area of human life. It is the process of evaluating and merits and flows of something change words, structural change, longest and unchanged words. Next. So the whole psychological criticism is the critics view works, thoughts, the lens of psychology. They look either at the psychological motivations and characters or the authors themselves. So, next, the application of specific psychological principles, particularly those of Sigmund Freud, 1956 to 1939, the study of the literature. Most controversial, most abused, least appreciated form, emphasis on the unconscious aspect of human psyche. All human behaviors motivated ultimately by the psyche force. So, because of the powers of social attack, the, sex- the sexual impulsive, many of our desire and memories are repressed. Next. So, according to Freud, in psychological criticism, we have a model of psyche. First, id, a completely unconscious part of the psyche that serve as the storehouse or our desire, wishes, and fears. So, for example, in which it strives for immediately and gratification for all desired needs and wants. Next, in the superego, often thought of as one unconscious and superego operates like an internal censor, encouraging moral judgments in light of social pressures. So, if the ego gives in the I's demands, the superego may take the person feel bad thoughts and guilt. Next, the ego, mostly the particularly conscious part of the psyche that process experiences that operates as a prefer or mentor between the id and superego. So, for example, ego is thinking you are the smartest person who over the world and have a good sense of a self-importance. So, next, unconscious, the irrational part of the psyche unavailable to the person consciousness except through dissociated acts or dream. So example, unconscious is when we are angered to our mother and memories of childhood abuse. Next. So Sigmund Freud theory of a personality argues that human behavior is the result of interaction among the three components part of the mind, id, ego, and superego. So this theory known as a Freud structured theory of personality places great emphasis on the role of unconscious psychological conflicts and the shaping of behavior personality. So this structured theory of a personality places great importance on how a conflict among the parts of a mind shape behavior and personality. These conflicts are the most unconscious. So, according to Freud, personality develops during childhood and it is a critically shaped through the series of five psychosexual stage, which he called psychosexual stage theory rather of a development. During each stage, a child is presented with a conflict between biological drives and social expectations. Successful navigation of this internal conflict will lead to master of each development stage and fully matured personality. So Freud ideas have since been met the criticism and part of a views of singular focus on sexuality as the main drive of human. So we have the advantage and disadvantage. First, we have the advantage. First, helpful for the understanding work whose the character have a psychological issues. Available tool understanding human nature, individual characters, and symbolic meaning. Disadvantage. Psychological criticism can retorna works into the little more than a psychological study, neglecting the view of a piece of art. Critics tend to the sex and everything exaggerating this aspect of a nature. That's all. Thank you.